So I'm so happy that you were able to take this time today. You are so busy, and I'm just been such a long time. Oh, by the way, cheers. Drinking my green juice.
Cheers. Yeah, green veggie.
Best thing ever. So I've been following your journey and watching you transform before our eyes. But I have to admit, I don't know that much about your journey. And I feel like, I know you're sharing about getting off metformin, which is like so amazing, because I know so many people are on these drugs and so many other medications. And then there's a lot of things that, a lot of health issues that you had that I don't really even know that much about. So I'm going to just, have you share, because I think it's so important that people see people healing themselves, and that, they can believe that it's possible. They can see hope. And I know that, I'm sure when you've been given these diagnoses, it's very bleak, and doctors don't tell us there's a way out. But I'm grateful that you were open to your friend Pamela, who had an amazing health transformation, and that you were open to trying something different. So would love for you to just share, where you were at before this came into your life.
Okay. Well, I got to go back to August to start this. Then August, I was really in a dark, dark place. August, like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. August 6th, I actually had a plan to end my life. I had the rope, I had the means. I was even bringing boxes home, putting my stuff in it and writing on who I wanted to get it, get my stuff. I had a godmother lined up. I had 2 dogs at the time. I got 3 now, but I had 2. I had a godmother lined up to even look after Hope and Homer, and that's how serious this plan was. I had a date, a time. I had the complete plan, and I've taken suicide training for where I work and all that. I've even been on a committee for suicide intervention before, and been part of a board for a community interagency suicide prevention. So even having all that knowledge, I was in that much of a depression, and I absolutely hated myself. I was out of shame to myself, and I wanted to end it. And then I got sick with the diverticulitis in August too. And that's pockets that form along your stomach lining. And in my case, they went right down through my colon as well. And it's called something different when it's in the colon, but it's the same thing. It's diverticulitis, and it's pockets that form, and they fill with pus. And in my case, they went septic. And I was in absolute agony. I can sit for 7 hours of tattoo. So for me to say the pain level was 9.5 out of 10, like it was off the charts. I was screaming. I remember punching the hospital bed there one night in emergency, and praying like, okay, God, like now I get it. I have to look at my physical health. I've obviously done a lot of damage. They were telling me, one of the doctors in emergency was telling me that it was like I got in a boxing match with a professional boxer, and took a beating on my kidneys for 10 rounds. And I wasn't able to eat anything at all. I wasn't able to process any food. And I was living on that crap diabetic boost at the time, because it was the only thing that I wouldn't throw up or come out the other end. And so I was suffering from dehydration. Like, they had to give me 4 bags of saline and Gravol and really, really, really strong pain meds when I was in that hospital. And they were talking about dialysis twice a week for my kidneys because they weren't functioning. And my gallbladder wasn't working right. Like none of my organs, they were all failing. They were all starting to fail. My heart even went out of rhythm one time there, and they were scared. And I was scared. And I can remember being there by myself in that room one night, and crying and praying, and okay, what do I got to do? And they weren't giving me no help. Like they didn't even admit me, even after all that. They just kicked me out. They filled me up with drugs and sent me on my way, like literally. After 8 hours, and they did this 5 times, 4 times in August, once in September, and so I wasn't getting no help. I had talked to my family doctor on a phone consult, and he wasn't helping. He wanted to give me other medication that would had a side effect that hurt my
Yeah.
stomach. And I'm like, do you not hear what I'm saying? I've got all these stomach issues going on, and you want to give me more medication? And I stopped taking the metformin, and I told him, I said, I can't do this metformin anymore, this diabetes meds, because that's aggravating my gut. And he agreed, yeah, it will aggravate your gut. And I go, well, why are you giving it to me then if it's going to aggravate my gut like that? And so I went off it, and we kept monitoring my blood, and my A1Cs started coming down. And then I reached out to Pam. Pam and I had been talking for about probably 2 or 3 months before that, on and off, and she said, she asked me straight up one day when she first phoned me out of the blue. I had the same phone number. We hadn't talked in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, but we were friends since 2009 or longer, and really good friends. In fact, ironically, I used to mentor her in recovery, and now she's my mentor in business. We still bug each other about that, because I say, "Who's the sponsor now, eh?" And we get a good laugh out of that now. And but anyway, she brought this green veggie shake right over to my house here, and I said, "No, I can't do that." I'm like, "No, no." I had that phobia to green veggie shakes. I'm like, "No, I'm not going to be one of them," and I'm being honest. I'm like, "No," But then another 3, 4 days of pain, and I thought, okay, you know what? It's working for her. I phoned her back, and I was okay. Now I've got to do this. I've got to, because there's no solution, and what I'm doing isn't working. And so she came over, and we signed me up. I got on the Core 4. And I should say this too. You were involved in a lot of that, Allison. We had a connect going, a three-way with you and Pam. And thank you for that. God bless you for that, actually, because you listened to me. And I, I didn't even know how busy you were at the time, but man, I do now. And I sure appreciate the time you gave me. Because I sent, I don't know, 7-minute bloody voice messages, and you took the time to listen to them, and I know you did. And I'm so grateful for that. And I know that's way out of the norm, way out of your comfort zone. And like I said, I didn't know that then, but I do now. And you guys educated me on gut health, because I didn't even know what that meant. And I'm being honest. And that's what's so amazing about it all now. For somebody that didn't know, what I know now is like, holy cow, when I reflect on what I've learned in the last 6 months is phenomenal, you know. So I got on the Core 4, and to be honest, I could only do about this much of a shake at first. I couldn't stomach it. I would throw up, or I would poop it out. And slowly I started to get enough nutrients, and I could only take 2 of the super aminos. I couldn't stomach the Apothe cherry juice at night, and that would come right back up. It took me like 5 weeks before I could stomach the Apothe cherry juice. And so by the end of October, beginning of November, I finally got up to the right dosage of the Core 4, and I started to feel better. All of a sudden, my gut wasn't in pain. Like, I was in chronic pain all the time. No matter what I did, I was in pain. And all of a sudden, that pain was going, it was lifting. And I was like, oh, okay, my pain's down to like a 5 out of 10. And I'm like, okay, this is getting better. And then it slowly went down to like 1 out of 10. And the odd time it flares up now, but I got the solution. I know what I have to do. You know, I take a couple extra super aminos. I take another 5 in the afternoon, and mostly I'm taking 15 a day now. I take three rounds of 5. And it's working. And I found, like, in the last month, I got on that Kamut blend, and actually Coach Drew recommended the Kamut blend, that I educate myself on that, and the Egyptian wheatgrass. And so I Googled it, and I found my own information, and God bless him, because he was right. The Kamut just does something for my diverticulitis. It helps heal it, and when nothing else was working. And so even when it flares up today, I put, a pretty strong dose of that in my shake, and all of a sudden I feel better within 12 hours. Like, I feel better that quick. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And the lifestyle change that we talk about here is the total transformation, right? Like I didn't realize that. Like I don't crave sugar. I don't have junk food in this house. Um, I've done a 180-degree turn on how I live my life. And since I've been on these superfoods, like I've lost 105 pounds on these superfoods. 105 pounds. Like that's incredible for a total
A
of
whole
100.
person.
Yeah, for a total of 150 pounds, Allison. Like that's just amazing. I uh I can't talk about it without getting emotional. I just can't. Uh, okay, that's the physical side. Since all that, my doctor has removed my last phone call with him. He removed my diagnosis of being a diabetic. He says, well,
Wow.
according to blood work, you're no longer diabetic. And I went, I got all choked up and I said, excuse me, can you please repeat that? Can you please repeat that? He says, well,
Wow.
according to your blood work, you are no longer diabetic. That's twice now because the first set of blood work he did was 5.6, my A1C, and now it's 5.4. And to be diabetic, you're 6.5 or more.
Yeah, yeah, you're in the
And
clear.
so and I've been a diabetic for 10, 11 years, and I was on at one time the strongest dose of that metformin. And I was able to take that metformin, put it all in a baggie, all those pills in a baggie, and take it into the pharmacy. Pamela actually came with me that she was here that day, and we were driving around town, and she came in and filmed me in the pharmacy, um, taking that back, handing that in to Mitch, the pharmacist here in town. And anyway, I've been talking to him and three of them there. I'm trying to get them. I've almost got them now. I've been working on them anyway because I could see the results, right? Like by
Yeah,
attraction, right? Same as it was with Pam. I watched her get healthy and she was the attraction. And
you
I knew
can't
she,
deny facts. Proof is in the
well,
pudding.
yeah, first in the pudding. Yeah, absolutely. You know,
What would you say to someone who would say like diet doesn't make a difference in your health?
oh my
Because I hear
God,
that.
there's
I hear doctors saying that still. I hear people this misconception. It's all genetic, doesn't diet doesn't matter.
well, there you go. I'm genetic. My family's been heavy. My the men in my side of the family have all died before the age of 60 years old because of heart disease. My dad died of a massive heart attack right in front of me at 59 years old, actually on a Monday morning, you know, and I watched it happen, you know, at 59 years old. And I was going down that road myself. There's another thing. The right side of my heart is actually enlarged. The pump side of my heart is enlarged because I have sleep apnea that I untreated or I didn't treat for years and years and years, probably 20 years. And I've been overweight my whole life. So as a result of me not treating that, using a CPAP machine, the heart expands on that one side, the pump. And the cardiologist told me it'll never come back down, but the right side of my heart is enlarged. And that's something that I also look like this chain used to be a choker.
Mhm.
And look at how loose it is. And you know,
Yeah.
see, like that's 10, 11 inches I've lost around my neck. And
Wow.
one of the things for sleep apnea is a 17-inch neck or bigger. Well, now my neck, I don't have it. I've lost 10 or 11 inches around my neck. I don't have sleep apnea anymore. And I found out by just staying over at a friend's place, and I asked her straight up, I said, do I snore? And she said, no. And I'm like, so I don't have sleep apnea. He said, no. I said, I'm not waking up irregularly or choking or anything. Because he said, no, you're fine. And I'm
Yeah.
like, really? So
Yeah.
no more CPAP machine. Like that's a $2,500 machine that I had to buy every 4 years. That
Yeah.
wasn't covered under medical.
Yeah.
You know, now I pack my blender in that suitcase where I used to pack that freaking thing when I go somewhere now. For my
Amazing.
so that's two big diagnoses gone. You know, gone. Like diabetic. When you get that diagnosis, like you said, when a doctor gives you that, that's for life.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah. I'll tell you
My
that. Yeah.
my uncle lost both his legs amputated because of his diabetes, and he died because of diabetes. I was going down all these roads in a
Yeah.
negative way, you know, and But I want to talk about the self-esteem part, the emotional part, because I've been really realizing that even more than the physical lately, Allison, like the little things. Like I was in Banff with two friends there at a recovery conference, 900 people, and I got to put on a bathing suit.
Mm,
Sorry.
it's okay. Mm,
And for the first time in over 30 years, 30 years, you know, I never wore a bathing suit, and I always wore baggy shorts and a loose shirt, and because I was so ashamed of myself. I wore that bathing suit proud with my friend, and her and I went to a public jacuzzi in Banff National Park, Canada, you know, in public. And we walked right down through, and then was wearing my sweats when I walked down, but on the way back, I just went in my bathing suit with my friend Amanda, and we had fun. And then I got back in the hotel room and I realized the significance. I didn't realize what had happened until I sat back down in the hotel room with my two friends there. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, do you realize what just happened? It's been over 30 years since I've been able to do that. So these superfoods have given me my self-esteem, you know, that's better than any physical,
better than anything physical, I agree.
you know, my emotional well-being on these is phenomenal. Um, for somebody who wanted to end their life August 6th, I want to live, and I'm excited about living. My metabolism is sped right up. Not only do I want to live, I'm attacking life. I'm attacking every day
Purpose.
with a vigor and an honesty. You know, I'm now a business owner. I'm running a business. You know, I get to give the gift of superfoods to my friends and to people and help them. And now I'm watching Kelly and Georgie get healthy. I'm watching their friends get healthy. I'm watching Marcy get healthy. Watching her friends get healthy. I've got
Mm,
two more I've got to see this week that want to be partners. Two more. One in Calgary, I'm going to go spend a day with, and one in Lethbridge, I'm going to go spend a day with. And I'm going to go through all that. I've got all the documents, all the compensation plans printed now. I finally figured out all that. You know, and talk a little bit about that, the business side here for a second. Um, I didn't even have social media until August 28th. I've been
yeah.
off social media for 5 years. You know, I got on social media. My sponsor told me after I had my spiritual awakening as a result of the 12 steps to get on there, I need to shine this light with the world, is what my sponsor told me. So I got on there. Today I just looked, I got over 300 friends now from August 28th till now, you know, and they're all on there because I've chosen those friends.
Mhm.
They're, I've chosen them because we have similar interests, or I like them, or like that's amazing in that short period of time. I didn't have internet here. I didn't have Wi-Fi in my house. I only had my little old iPhone that I got here. I don't know, it's like an iPhone 6 with the guts of a 13, 14, maybe 16 now, but it's old and it's antiquated, but yet I can do it. I can get on Zooms on it. I figured it out. Pam's helped me. Jared's helped me. Jared helped me figure out how to go through Chrome because Safari wasn't working on it. So he really helped me with my phone. I can use that old bloody phone for now.
Mhm.
I'm getting a new one down the road, but for now, it's okay. I'm now techie. I'm not. I'm a carpenter, you
Yeah.
know. And, and,
You have a
and
strong light to share, and we're fine. It's like through the technology, that light needs to shine.
if I can do this, that's my point, Allison. If I can do this, other people can do this.
Mhm.
And it's not. I can't get out a job giving people the best superfoods in the world. Like when I go deliver, and that's one of my trademarks. I still deliver. Like if they're within half an hour, I put a restriction on that. I no longer drive 400 kilometers anymore. But within half an hour, I put it right in their hands, and I keep a surplus here of And I got a lot, and I've been fortunate, but I decided to invest in this company because I'm not going to be denied. Like I invested in my business as a carpenter. Used to put 20, $30,000 in tools in my business as a carpenter. So I invested, $3 grand in product in superfoods. And now, because I do it the way I do it, it just comes back to me. And I'm just replenishing I was able to give Marcy a Core 4 the other day, so her customer could have it right now, same day. And they'll just ship that to my address, and it just replenishes my stock. And then that customer is not waiting the 7 to 10 days it takes for delivery. They got it now, and then Marcy gets the thrill of putting it in their hands. So it's not just me doing it now, and I'm spreading that around.
Yeah.
Yeah, duplication. Duplication works. Let him know. Yeah. I'm laughing because it's so true. Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm looking after, like, I dye my hair, I get my nails done. Sometimes I wear makeup, sometimes I don't. It's if I feel like it, I want to. I'm not trying to impress anybody, but I am trying to look after myself in all ways,
Yeah.
and I'm able to do that today because I want to live. I'm getting more tattoos because that's what I love, and I'm blunt. I'm blunt. A lot of my lives, I swear, I say it like it is.
It's beautiful.
I don't fit any box. Don't try and put me in a box. Don't
We
try and
don't want
tame.
you in any box. Nope.
I am who I am, and that's part of my charm. When I walk in a room, people freaking know me, and I don't blend in, and that's my best gift because I'm real. What you see is what you get. I'm not fake. You know, I hid who I was, Allison, for 41 years before I became Heather, and I fucking refuse to hide now. Okay, I'm not hiding. I get out there, I see the world, and that's what's working for me in my business is I'm not shy. I talk to everybody. Dean, the FedEx guy, I've been working on him for 3 months. I'm going to get him yet. Him and I were chasing my little puppy down the road the other day. It was hilarious. And now he knows Heather, I'll just put the box right here. And I said, yeah, perfect, dude. We don't have to chase my dog that way. And I said, come on, man, you need this for your energy. You're delivering all the shit all over. Do you need this for your energy, man? Well, I'll think about it. Well, yeah, really? Well, here's a card, man. It's got a gift code on it, and so I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. But that's what I do. I just talk. I just talk. I just talk. And I like talking. So I don't know. It's one of
You
my
found your
gifts.
purpose, and
Yeah.
isn't that amazing that we could find, like, through healing ourselves, we can change lives. We can, create a bit. I mean, who knew that healing yourself, you can create a business, you can have, we're paid to share our story. We're paid to talk. We're paid to, heal. And it's just so, people don't know we need more voices, loud and proud, because people just don't know they can heal themselves. They've never been told that. A doctor, as you said, will tell you you have a diagnosis for life. And we need more loud voices sharing that, yes, we can heal. Not everyone's ready for that message, right? You get some pushback sometimes for that.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm realizing. And that's what I started asking my friends. Like, really, like, okay, you've seen what it's done for me. You've seen what it's doing for my friends now and their friends, and you're still thinking about it. And like, really, okay. And then I put the question right on them. Okay, are you ready to change your lifestyle? Because that's what it comes down to. Do you want it? Are you sick of living like this, or are you ready? Like, shit or get off the pot, because that's what it comes down to. Like, don't come whining to me about your poor health if you're not fucking willing to do anything about it. Like, sorry, but
Yeah.
like, the solution is here, and it's worked for thousands before me.
Yeah.
So it just might work for them too,
Yeah.
right? Like, I know it will, but they got to be consistent.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We have to be consistent. And I really like this new this new part of it, the 90-day transformation, because it's taken me 90 days to change my lifestyle.
Mhm.
So I'm 100% behind this because I know what it took and what it's taking me. I'm
Yeah.
still detoxing crap out of my body,
Oh,
like
yeah.
from October.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I still am. I just finished the second round of Cleansar. So I'm literally doing ULT. I just finished the second round, which killed the baby parasites and eggs.
Yeah.
You know, just finished like yesterday or
It
the day
takes,
before.
you know, we can't expect to damage our body for a lifetime. We can't expect to heal it just like that. This takes, it's a healing is as a lifestyle. Healing, it's never ending. It's like you heal and then you go back. Like this is like, you know, when you start to feel these benefits, and I know that that's why, like when you start to feel the benefits, you actually don't even think about it. You want to continue going because, you know, you don't even have to, you're like, why would I go back to how I was feeling? But in order for people to really experience those benefits, yeah, you have to commit to, you know, well, you have to be ready, you know, and I think that's what it comes down to. You have to be sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And not everyone's, you know, at that point. Maybe sometimes people still hide behind their diagnoses because it somehow, some people, you know, they're attached to their, it's a part of their identity is their, you know, what's their sickness and their pain and their suffering. But for people who are ready, you're leading the example. And I know that you sharing your story loud and often, you're going to reach people. And, you know, not everyone's ready now, but come maybe a few months from now, maybe a year, they're going to think Heather was talking about this thing and, you know, she healed herself. They're going to think of you when it comes to, you know, when they're ready to heal.
Well, that's starting to happen because I do got people that I was talking to back 3-4 months ago, and now they've purchased some stuff now, and so it's slowly, you know, you plant the seed, and then, well, you know what we do, we drip on it, right?
You know, even that conversation before, you know, yeah, exactly. We plant a seed, but you know, people, because I think we've been so conditioned to just trust doctors, right? It's like whatever a doctor says, we've been at this almost like God complex with authority, you know? And so people almost get offended when you say I healed myself because it goes against what their belief system is, right? So we just even experienced that a little with the diverticulitis. They said, no, if you have diverticulitis, you have to have it for your whole life. So I'm just, you know, it's just so amazing to be able to share your story of someone who has defied those odds.
Thank you. And I should say this, I'm also an alcoholic addict in recovery, and I've got 19 years sobriety now, you know, so that's a whole nother story. That's a whole, you know, and this just ties in. Okay, now I'm recovering my body, right? Like, but as a result of my body, it's helping me so much emotionally. Like I can do this. I can see myself in this camera. I couldn't do that in August. You would never have got me to say yes to this in August, Allison. There's just no way. There's no way. Your September, probably not even October. To be honest with you, I would have said no, no. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to look at myself. You
Yeah.
know. But now I love what I see and who I am. I fought hard to become who I am. You know, I went through a transition to become Heather that was hard. There's so many different sides to my story
Yeah.
that I fought hard to be my authentic, real self and
Mm.
who I am. And you're right. It's time to let it out. It's time to let it shine. The whole world
Absolutely.
can see this. And that's why when I do a live now, all of them now are being public. Like anybody wants to share this shit, please do.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to ask, just do it. And one thing about that doctor, three months ago when I 6 months ago now, or whenever I started the green shakes with Pam was here that day, and the doctor phoned me on a consult. And I told him I was going on these green veggie superfoods, and he's like, no, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna end up back in the hospital with your divertic. And I said, bullshit. Watch me, you know. And then the last time I talked to him, when he was reading my report of the blood work, he says, okay, now how'd you do it? How'd you lose another 105 pounds? And I told him, I said, it's these superfoods called Purium I was telling you about. And he started asking me all kinds of questions. So I answered them all. And then his next words were, how do you spell Purium, Heather? And I'm like, oh my God, he's actually going to Google this? I'm like, yes. So my doctor is an old British doctor who was kind of set in his ways, who's now changing his mind because
Yes.
of me.
Yes, we need more doctors to understand a holistic, working with nature, working with our body, and not just what they were taught in school, because we need more doctors to also be rebels too, and start actually researching, healing. The body can heal itself. And some people, it comes to, down to ego. They don't want to believe that everything they learned in school is wrong, and they've just never maybe even seen. But when they're seeing it, I know that the smart doctors are going to start looking into this.
Well, and I got one more friend who's a doctor I grew up with. He's a doctor of holistic medicine, acupuncture, and runs a gym and everything. I went to the gym for the first time in long time last night, and I did a Tabata hour-long workout with her. And oh my God, like she's training Team Canada, and she's training me. And,
Amazing.
and I'm sore. I'm sorry today, but
Yes.
I got my ass back in the gym, and I'm gonna go
Yes.
today. I'm gonna go today at 5
Yes.
o'clock, and we're doing another. And she just, Heather, you come anytime. You can join any class, and because I know her, she said she won't take any money. She won't accept nothing, and she's like Heather, you're in. And she helped me lose the weight back in '09 before I had my surgical reassignment surgery. So we've been a friend since I was 12 years old, and so she says, I got your back. I'm behind you on this 110%. And so there's a business op coming down the road here, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be
Well,
big because she's training Team Canada, like she's trying out for the Olympics herself. And there's going to be a powerlifting event coming up here in the town in Anton with 450 powerlifters from all over the world coming. And now she wants me to get into powerlifting now. And
you
I'm
are
like,
going to blow minds. I mean, Heather, like, it's like I think this is what it is. When bad things happen to us, we go through the downward spiral. And that's why there's so many levels to the destruction you did to your body with the alcohol and the medications and the overeating and all the lifestyle things that were hurting you. Now, when you start on the positive end, right, this is called an upward. It's like a screw. Like, you could screw it down or you could screw it up. Right now, you're screwing up. You're like not screwing up, and you're not screwing up.
no, I get it. I get the context.
So you're ascending. And I see it's like it's like a that's funny, screwing up. It's like a
No, it was kind of funny. Yeah.
yeah, it's like an upward spiral. It's like once you start doing healthy habits, certain things, even if it means just being able to drink some of the green juice every day, right? Like little habits, starting healthy habits, you want more and more. And that's why it's so beautiful that you're like this journey of the gym, of physical, getting muscle, I know is going to be a huge part of your healing as well. And it's just so inspiring because you could see someone who went from being like when I first met you, really, because I felt the energy. There's a very different energy, right? I knew you were really suffering. You were feeling really down, and it was like a hard time. Your body was going through a lot of, you were in pain physically, but also, like you said, the emotional, the not having the self-esteem, and now it's the upward spiral. So it's just going to keep on getting better. And I hope that everyone who's watching goes and follows you to watch this ascension journey.
Oh yeah, I'm not done. I'm going to drop another 60, 70 pounds. Like I'm determined. And by trade, I will not be denied.
I love it. Well, the story is just beginning. So if you want to catch the full story, you're going to have to watch Heather now, because it's not ending. And I am so grateful that you're shining your light, because you are exactly what the world needs, raw and real, and finally, unashamed to be who you are. And really, like, thank you for just shining your light so bright.
Well, thank you. And thank you, sis. You're like my sister. You really are. And
Yeah.
I love you to pieces. You've helped me so much. I got to say my trademark if I can here real quick
Please,
before you
please
go.
take the last few words, please.
If nobody told you that they love you today, then let me be the first. I have.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I always, that's my trademark. Everywhere I go, when I speak, in recovery, anywhere, that's how I am every time I talk.
Thank you for you, Heather.
And hi is the native way of saying the end of a prayer, because I won't use the other word. It's hi, hi.
Hi. Blessed day, Heather. Have a beautiful workout and rest of your day. And we're glued. We're loving to watch you heal and rise.
Thank you. It was an honor to be here. I love you,
Thanks.
sis.
Love you too, sis.